Hey, folks. Great episode today with one of our favorites, the Miles Luna. Yep, he's back for, I think, his fourth visit. It's a Thanksgiving tradition, and we're thrilled to have him back. You can go see the video version and get an ad-free version at patreon.com/late night. Also, my jazz holiday album under my jazz guy persona, Trey Magnifique, is out. It's called Let It Blow. You can get that at treymagnifique.com or wherever you get music. And also come see me. I'm doing live shows on LA December 4th, Boston December 6th, New York December 7th. And you can get all that info and tickets, etc. at treymagnifique.com. All right, enjoy this show. Miles is the best, and it's a really fun one. And happy Thanksgiving.
What are you drinking there, Miles?
This is my favorite beer in all of Austin. It is called Electric Jellyfish, and it is from my favorite pizza place in all of Austin, Pint House Pizza and Brewery. Good Lord. I've had one of them, and you can tell. It's a delicious IPA. It was a very long day, and this is now my this is the release. This is great.
Yeah,
and so
well, you get to relax.
Perfect end of the day.
In the most relaxing environment possible. With us.
Yes,
on
a podcast.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what people always tell us. They're so relaxed when they come on our show.
That's what helps me sleep. You know, I do some stretches before bed. I do some deep breathing. I do like a quick 2-hour podcast. I try to read. I try not to look at my screen.
You know what they say about this recording this podcast? It's like verbal yoga. It's good for the soul.
I like this a lot. Verbal yoga. That's great.
That's the chakras, the cheese. I don't know.
My third podcasting ear is open.
And a lot of people get that confused with the third eye. There's a big difference.
Yeah.
Is there?
There's the third ear, much like there's a third mouth, but we don't talk about that.
Oh, I can't talk about. I can't.
Not
really
amongst
talk
just
about my
friends.
second mouth. Yeah. It's Some
and it's
are,
not where you'd think.
No, that's the thing. That's actually the fourth. Is the one where you'd think the second would be, because there is an ordering.
Yeah, you'll have to remind me, Brian. It's been a minute. How many mouths are you up to now?
Well, it does change from day to day.
Obviously.
I have a budget for this, and I keep adding on over the years. So I'm up to 7.
Congratulations,
right,
man.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Are you going
three
for
away
an
from the
8th?
10 club.
Well, we're going to see if the doctors say there's only, and this is a direct quote, so much one body can handle. But I think they seem confident that I'm not at my mouth limit yet. Now, the real trick with these extra mouths is how much functionality do you want, right? Because any old idiot can carve a new hole. It's not that big a deal. But if you want the just shut up for a second, Layden. If you really want the muscular control, you were gesturing like you were about to, and we all know it. If you really want the muscular, now that was an assault that you just committed right there. So
I didn't do anything. Miles can attest.
please.
I did nothing.
Yeah, well, the video. Let's play that video back, please.
As you can see.
Great. Anyway, so the question is, it's not just the mouth. It's not just the port. Like, do you want the teeth? Do you want the tongue? Do you want that stuff that goes in or out to go anywhere? Right. That's that's a question that I'm not qualified to answer. I'm a doctor, but not that kind of doctor.
Well,
So
I'm happy for you, man.
the doctor that you're seeing, is it a system where
Wait,
when
you mean the one I'm dating or the one that I'm going to?
interpret how you wish, but
Okay,
to
great.
get your new mouths every time, it's like a little punch card at a sandwich shop where if you get 10 new mouths, you get your 11th mouth
is
free.
11th, yeah, that's right.
But also instead of doing a hole punch, it's just the guy biting into a little business card for each hole.
Yeah,
Because those doctors are rocking maximum mouths. Like that's how you know they're good at what they do.
Double
yeah.
M's.
Yeah.
That's right. My next one, finally, I'm getting to Mickey Mouth, which is going to be my favorite mouth. Mm-hmm.
Is it hidden much like a Mickey?
Well, it's just kind of up here.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you can get vocal cords in the mouth as well, right? If you want to have some additional functionality.
I mean, that's how. I mean, most of the harmonizing back in the day. I mean, now it's all digital, right? But a lot of the big, pop song singer icons. That's multiple mouths. They're harmonizing with themselves on those tracks. One take wonders, man. And I wish I could have been around for that time. Yeah.
The really talented ones. Yeah. The trick is getting the wind, the airflow to the other mouths so they can all talk at once. It's not easy to do, but.
Well, and if you have enough, somebody else can play you like a flute.
Oh, living the dream. That's right. Yeah.
It's technically giving you mouth to mouth. It's like a CPR type situation.
I'm pretty into what they call human fluting. That's where you lay down, you basically plank, but you're on your back, and another person blows into your mouth from above.
They blow across your mouth.
That's right. And then they run their fingers up and down your body.
Funny story. That's how I met my wife. Yeah. Oh, we were so young and filled with notes.
Making sweet music.
We were making sweet music together.
Right. Yeah, I love the notion of playing another human being. It's very hot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because there's ham boning, but then there's ham boning with a partner.
Have we discussed ham boning on the show? Because I fucking love ham boning. Do you know what ham boning? Yes. Okay. We all know what ham boning is.
We're all on the same page.
Miles, explain, please, if you would, what ham boning is to the listening
Your body
audience.
Becomes an instrument of the percussion variety. And you're just, in my case, it's a lot of titty slapping. And I'm going to say this, I think it's 25% like musical execution, 75% vibes. I think ham boning is mostly a vibe.
Yes.
It's an intent.
Have you seen the guy? He's like an older guy, white beard. He just kind of normal, whatever, 70-ish-year-old dude who's like the ham bone master. And I forget his name. There's a bunch of ham bone videos.
I know that guy,
YouTube.
and I'm blanking on his name. I literally personally know that guy. Yeah, he's the other half.
You're fucking with me.
Are you talking about Steve Hickman?
I am talking about Steve Hickman. You personally know Steve Hickman? He is one of my many ham bone idols. But
Steve Hickman and John Devine are like a folk music duo, and they would play shows every week that I would be at the John C. Campbell Folk School in Brasstown, North Carolina. So he was a big fixture of my childhood.
Oh my, Leighton, this is as starstruck as I have ever been with something.
I've never talked about it.
I love Steve Hickman.
He was on Wife Swap.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I don't even know how to react to that.
I haven't even seen that episode of Wife Swap, but it was always like, he would do bits about it during the sets. Because, like for I did so much stuff at John C. Campbell Folk School, which is like a weird little campus where you take art classes.
The guy from Step Brothers? Steve Brule?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Uh-huh. But, they would have little morning concerts in the barn. And also at the end of the week, there would be the big exhibition of like, here's all the stuff that we made. And also there's a concert. And those two guys were always there. Like their daughters would be in the camp thing. So, very steady picture.
If you do you know him well enough? If you met each other on the street, he would recognize you and be like, hey, Leighton.
No, probably not, because a million kids come through there and I haven't been there in forever.
I see. But you met him while he was there. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. Enough that he would remember my grandma and, me and my cousins and stuff.
That's incredible.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I wish I still had the CD of their stuff, because they would do the same old standards and, of course, ham boning. And the ham boning is such a treat to witness in person.
It really
is. It's a visual display, too.
It's incredible. I mean, it's like a form of athleticism, and I'm not being facetious when I say that.
No.
It really is insanity. The people who do it really, really well. Now, this is something I did not grow up in ham bone culture in New Jersey. Ham boning isn't something I became aware of until I think that there's a reference to it, I believe, in Futurama. And I think that might be the first time I heard about ham boning. But I only really became a hambonista in the last 5 or so years.
I really have Regular Show to thank. Regular Show, that was a big thing with the two guys. Ham boning. That really brought it to the youth of America at a time where, I'll say it, they needed it most.
Yeah. Now, okay, I have never seen Regular Show.
It's great. It's
so
good.
Great? People talk
it's
about
really
it all
good.
the time.
I haven't watched it as much as I do intend to. I got to get through that whole series at some point in my lifetime. But it's very much, this is a show written for kids and intended for kids and is appropriate for kids that was written by some stoners. It's really good stuff.
That's the vibe that
man.
I've gotten. Yeah,
it's really good stuff.
It's
I very
20
often
years
in college.
Old-ish? Is that right?
God, the characters or the show at this point?
The show.
I think it's closer to maybe like 10 or 15.
Okay.
Maybe 10. I think it came out around the time I was entering college. So that would have been like 2008, 2009.
Well after like Aqua Teen kind of.
Yeah. I think there's definitely, I mean, Aqua Teen, all that early Adult Swim lineup was so inspirational for so many people.
Oh.
Like there's a little bit of that DNA in regular show for sure. Yeah.
makes sense.
All right, I gotta watch it.
Not
Is it the kind of
to,
thing that holds up?
The episodes that I have seen recently, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Would his
it's very
10-year-old child
absurdist.
be able to watch it?
Oh, that's a good question.
I think so. I mean, it was on the Cartoon Network. It was marketed to kids. It's great. It's got a little bit of like Flapjack energy. It's just kind of like it's a bit bizarre at times, but in a way that like, yeah, of course, one of their friends is like an abominable snowman Yeti guy. Like, yeah. Oh, their boss, he's a gumball machine. Makes sense. That's the energy regular show's bringing.
Oh, I love it. Okay, cool.
Not to fully turn the car around and drive 3 miles back.
No, please.
But Wife Swap. So
Right.
the reality television program Wife Swap, like the guy who pitched that, or girl, I don't know, I don't want to make any assumptions here. The person who pitched that show.
I think the assumption that it was a man is probably not
I would imagine.
far
Yeah,
off.
I didn't want to go, but yeah, you're right. The coked up exec that pitched that show. How?
We're all
Like that's
looking
like
it up.
a
Are we all
poorly
looking it
that's
up?
like a poorly
Yeah.
concealed kink. Like he had a cuckolding kink that he was just like, I wonder if I can pitch this, and everyone
what's
won't know.
The deal is, they trade, like one woman from one family lives with the other family and vice versa. Is that the deal?
Yeah,
Yeah,
essentially,
and it's
like, hey,
usually supposed to be like the big juxtaposition between lifestyles. So like the big thing was that, you know, Steve Hickman's family is very, you know, mildly off the grid, like crunchy. And obviously he's a folk singer, and they switched with like a really wealthy, like prissy lady.
148 episodes, y'all. 148 episodes of Wife Swap.
I have never watched this show. Is it worth it?
No. I mean, not that I recall. I remember here's what I remember about reality television growing up. I remember Survivor came out, and it was one of the coolest things I had ever seen in my life at that time. My parents and I, like we like VCR recorded every episode in case we wanted to rewatch it or we were going to miss it or something like that. Like
It
that
was
was a
an
whole
event.
family thing. It was.
That was
And
back when
then-
like everybody watched a show and talked about. My cousin was on Survivor, so I have like
No way.
yeah, Survivor Panama. He got voted out. He was like the first person on the jury that season.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is just like, I'm learning, you know, so many celebrities, Leighton. Steve Hickman, some rando on Survivor. It's like, that's
I know,
amazing.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, a shout out to Austin, who is now a preacher in Kentucky, question mark.
Hell yeah, Austin. Good for you.
Yeah. But it was a whole thing. I interrupted your
I
reality
mean,
TV in the 2000s.
It was
deal.
though. It was like a whole thing. Like the next big one I remember was like The Mole and Big Brother.
Oh, the mole.
And then like the reality TV dam exploded, and then it was just like, oh no, oh god, please. and Wife Swap was like one of those where it just kind of felt like, again, like some coked up execs were just like, okay, all right, we're gonna do switchies for like a week, and like no kissing, but like everything else. Yeah, is that something? Please say that's something.
Imagine you're the woman that gets swapped into Steve Hickman's family, and suddenly your whole life becomes about ham boning.
Oh man.
I
you
think
know.
she didn't like it, if I recall correctly. She
That
didn't quite care
is-
for it.
Well, I would say that is a flaw, a personal flaw on her part.
Yeah, I agree. You got to be ready to go. I just had to Google this. So there's a famous reality TV show clip from what I thought was Wife Swap, but apparently there is another show called Trading Spouses. Trading Spouses.
Oh no, there was two of these?
Yeah, but
Oh, is this what
is
the
a
legal
thing.
issues section on the wife swap? Yes, there it is.
Is it?
There's a legal issues section on the Wikipedia page, which
Wow.
there's a subsection trading spouses, but please continue.
Man, I hate that the clip that I found is 5 minutes, but it's this lady going on a rant because she's like really Christian and they put her with a very not Christian family. And so she's telling them all how quote unquote dark-sided they are. And like dark-sided has been a permanent part of my vocabulary.
What does that mean? Like evil?
Yeah, aligned with the devil.
Oh, I see.
This lives in the same space in my brain as the monster energy bottoms up and the devil laughs. Lady.
Oh my god!
Is that
I haven't thought of that in
the
years.
666?
Yeah.
In the okay, yeah.
God, people get mad about everything that doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true. That's
Pretty
all
much.
fine. Monster
that's
energy
fine.
is
That's great. Have
Wait,
you guys
can
ever?
you? Yeah, no, Miles, please continue.
I was just say, have you guys ever read like the infamous copy on the back of a Monster Energy drink can?
No, I've
no.
never
I'm,
had.
I'm
a Monster
assuming it's
Energy
like
drink.
the Dr. Bronner's
It's
super religious stuff.
it's like if Hot Topic wrote the Dr. Bronner's. Okay, let me just search. Let me just search. There is one brand of Monster Energy that I like. It's like the Rehab, which is like it's like tea flavors. The regular stuff tastes like cough syrup or whatever to me.
It's the kind of thing where you drink it and you instantly feel yourself losing hit points.
Yes.
Oh, look
There
at this.
is horrible copy on the back of the can of Monster Energy drink. I'm trying to see if I can find it right now. I'm going to tell you.
Tell me if this is what you're talking about, because I'm looking
Yeah.
at something here. Some people are impossible to please. As soon as they get what they thought they wanted, they always want more. Our team riders and monster girls are no different. They've been dropping some hints lately. They've been asking us for a new monster drink, a little less sweet, lighter tasting, 0 sugar, but with a full load of our Monster Energy blend. Sure, white is the new black. We went all out on Monster Energy Zero Ultra. Unleash the Ultra Beast.
Yeah. So what you're tapping into there is the ethos of Monster Energy. It's kind of like they forced an intern to drink 6 of them. And then like removed their humanity and showed them Clockwork Orange style, just like images of Las Vegas. And we're like, now write about the human condition.
Russian sleep experiment, creepypasta style.
Yeah, it's like Corpo Clockwork Orange, right? Yes, it's like the most corporate version of that.
Yeah, I just remember reading the back of the can one time, and it's just like, picture this. You're 3 tequila shots back, chilling at the side of the Paradise Motel on Las Vegas, watching the Flesh Parade march by. And I'm immediately like, unsubscribe.
Yeah, that's also what my stomach is saying anytime I attempt to drink Monster
Can you
Energy.
guys do those energy? I can't do energy drinks. I hate them all. Every time I've had one, it makes me just ill. I hate the way they taste.
There's a single one I can do, which is the Starbucks triple shot, tiny little can. The big cans are terrible. The little ones are tolerable, and it's the only energy drink that I can handle.
I don't drink a ton of caffeine, but every now and then, the like Baja Blast pilled like 18-year-old within me is just like, give me the sauce.
Yes.
And I'll go out and I'll grab like a Red Bull or something like that.
Every 6 months, I really want a Mountain Dew, and that's about that's as close as I get. Yeah, and it's usually I do the diet Mountain Dew anyway because I have some fucking standards, but that's as close as I get to an energy drink.
They're
But
scary,
it's gotta
man.
be it's gonna
They
be
hurt
fucking
you.
bad for you, right?
Like,
I know people who-
kidney stones.
It would be
Yeah.
nice if they tasted good. It would be more of a problem if they actually tasted good, but Red Bull and Monster both just taste like battery acid.
That's what I'm saying. And then the
I'll
people
just have a
ordering
soda.
fucking Red Bull cocktails, like Red Bull and vodka or whatever. What are you doing?
I did it recently. I haven't done that
Why?
since college because
Why?
so my as I've mentioned, I think somewhere before, I don't know. My wife and I are getting ready to move to the UK, and just recently, my in-laws from Canterbury came in to help us with a few last-minute things. And while they were there, they'd always wanted to go to New Orleans. And so my parents, my wife's parents, some of my extended family, we did the 8-hour road trip to New Orleans and spent a weekend there, and it was great. New Orleans is one of my favorite cities in the country.
It's pretty great, yeah.
I encourage everybody, if you can, to go there at some point in your life. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love Austin. I've lived in Austin since 2008. Live music capital of the world. Get fucked. It's New Orleans, okay? I'm sorry, but no.
I will say that your rando, just like musician on the street in New Orleans, is a billion times better than the counterpart in Austin, for sure.
So good. And yeah, we had planned ahead of time to do one of my favorite things to do in New Orleans is I love doing some like camp touristy shit, man. I'm here for it. And it is the pub crawl / ghost tours. I do one every single time I go to New Orleans.
Bet that's great. Yeah.
It's great every time. And but that was a day of like 8 hours of driving. I was like, why did I schedule this immediately after this? And I took the serum. I was like, ma'am, if you would please, a sugar-free Monster, or a sugar-free Red Bull and vodka. And
Do you like it though?
No.
Okay, good. Okay, then we're on the same page.
It was kind of like it's like those like movies where it's like, oh, I have to become the beast if I'm gonna have to inject myself with the werewolf venom in order to fight Dracula. It was one of those. Like, I must become that which I fear in order to walk amongst my peers. Yeah.
To walk amongst the dead. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I bet the New Orleans ghost tour is awesome.
It's really good.
I'm sure the tour guide is the most charismatic person you've ever encountered in your life.
It oscillates. It oscillates from charismatic and fantastic to guy that's just an asshole and he thinks that's funny. That's kind of the two polar opposites that you're
right here. I am right here. Okay.
We got the most recent time. It was great. He was kind of a dickhead, but he had a degree in history, and so like you got more of the historical side of it, and I'm here for that. I love that sort of shit. So that was a fun line to walk with that gentleman. Shout out to you, Andy, wherever you are. Probably New Orleans.
Those, I'm certainly not a believing ghost person, but I love a good ghost tour just because it's fun to walk around at night, and they take you to like basements and shit. You see cool places.
Drink.
Yes.
You can drink. You can walk anywhere in New Orleans with a bev, and also New Orleans just is. A lot of stuff happened in that city, man, and a lot of it's really bad, and you'll hear about it, and it's with a spooky coat of paint over it.
We did one.
Similar.
Rachel and I. No, please, Leighton, go ahead. I insist. I value your voice and your contribution to this podcast.
What Brian said.
I lived in Savannah, Georgia for a few years for college, which is a very similar place in terms of the whole ghost cottage industry coming off of the backs of history of abhorrent crimes against humanity. Where it's like, yes, this was a port for slaves for a very long time. So there are lots of ghosts, which, it's a whole thing. But yeah, similar vibe where it's like, this is fun and ooky spooky, but also like... Yikes.
Also, yikes. I don't think, okay. I don't think I believe in ghosts. Every logical part of my brain is like, what are you talking about?
Yep.
Yeah.
But like, if they did exist, the concept of a ghost really scares me. I don't know if we've talked about this before. I feel like you can kind of break the threat in a horror movie down into like 3 subgenres. I mean, horror is the genre of subgenres,
This
but like
is the
play in the
perfect
space
show
with me
to
for a
talk
second.
about this on. Yes, I love this. Okay.
So there is the human. It's psychological. It is a madman with a knife. It's a dude with a chainsaw. Like, the threat is human. Option B, the threat is alien. Not necessarily like alien from outer space, but like it's a creature. It's zombies. It's the xenomorph.
A non-human but non-supernatural creature.
Yeah, non-human, well, let's call it biological horror, I guess.
Okay, sure.
And then the final bucket, I would say, generally speaking, is the supernatural. It's the demonic, it's demons, it's ghosts and stuff. And I feel like every person I've ever spoken to, one of those 3 things is like, oh, that one's way scarier than the other 2. And for me, it's option C. I don't like option C.
Oh, I would definitely go with biological horror being the scariest.
I knew you would.
Yeah.
Interesting, because I'm in Camp Human.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
We have
We
a
hit
full
the trifecta.
spectrum.
Yeah.
So would you mind making your case?
I feel like
please.
mine is such a comparative thing that you should go first,
Okay.
both of you.
Ghosts ain't got rules, okay? I have a problem with this. Because even in movies where they're like, here's the rules of the spirit, sometimes, and this is probably just bad writing, but sometimes they just break those rules. I remember the movie Darkness Falls with the Tooth Fairy ghost. I saw that as a teenager, and it's like she can't come out after like when the sun rises or something. And then, hey guys, spoilers from a movie from like 2002. They think they beat the Tooth Fairy, and then like the sun comes up, but she's like still there or something. And it's like, oh fuck you, you don't know my rules. And I was like, what? That's not fair. That's number one. Like rules are iffy.
Well,
and number two,
okay, if I may,
go
real
ahead,
quick,
go ahead,
there's
please.
a Ninja Sex Party song. It's bedtime where we put a kid to bed and say scary things in the middle. And one of the things Dan says is, "Do you ever think how ghosts can't be stopped by literally anything?"
Yes, they can go through anything. They can be anywhere. You
But
close the mirror, boom, ghost.
Relevant to the rules thing, here's something that has always confused me. This is certainly not an original observation. Fuckers can pass through doors, but they don't just fall through the floor immediately. What's going on?
I like
what are
to
we
think it's a
doing?
choice thing. I like to think that you're like, am I Adam? I'm matter, and I'm not. Honestly, also, have you considered that maybe just like they're just hovering like a few millimeters above the ground?
Can. But if it's a choice thing, you get the sense that you could be like, distract them, and they just drop through the floor, right? If they weren't thinking about it, you'd be like, yo, and they straight down.
Back to hell with you.
Yeah.
Back to hell. My bigger issue though with ghosts is what happens when a ghost gets you. Like in a lot
That's
of
a good
horror movies
question,
with
isn't it?
ghosts, it's like you find the body and it's like they're like white. They're making a horrible just you know what I mean when I make
ring
that sound.
style. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ring style. Yeah, or grudge style. You get it. You get the sound I'm making. But like what? That leaves so much up to like the unknown. What
What happened?
happens?
That's
Your
a good
heart
question.
stopped out of fear, or
Maybe, yeah.
did it hurt? Are you a ghost now? Are
There's
you
some
is your
amount,
soul
yeah,
trapped?
There's often some implication of like soul sucking or some adjacent thing
Nice.
going on, right?
Human
Something- well,
fluting, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, look, I don't like to brag, but there's some implication that they didn't just die. Something
Right.
awful happened to them beyond merely dying, right?
The movie that I think does that the best is It Follows. It Follows is like it's like
Oh,
a
yeah.
paranormal thing that's kind of after you, and you just
Yeah.
kind of see the body for like the first 2/3 of the movie, and then like
Yep.
at the kickoff of the final act, you see what happens when the It Follows thing gets you, and it's not good.
That's the one where you have to fuck the demon or the ghost or whatever to the next person, right?
Yeah, you gotta fuck the ghost away. Yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
I need to.
Great
I have not
movie.
seen that movie in a very, very long time. I
so
listen to the
good.
soundtrack all the time.
Oh,
really?
dude, Disaster Piece? Hell yeah. Hell
Amazing.
yeah. I'll throw on the Fez soundtrack every now and then if I really got to like lock it in on some
That's
work
good stuff.
Can I hear some cases for human, for biological?
I want to
mean,
hear
or-
biological.
Well, biological to me is more about, biological is large, right? We're talking about a lot of things. All of these categories are large. But if we're including aliens, if we're including, zombies or whatever, the scary thing to me is, ghosts. Let's compare. Ghosts are largely human ghosts, typically speaking, and in most of these things, right? So you kind of get where this jerk is coming from, right? This is
Sure,
a human.
yeah.
who had
Yeah,
some
you're not
fucked up-
haunted by a fucking bird or something.
No, that's right.
Oh, but
You're
that'd be
haunted
tough.
by some asshole who blah, blah, blah. Things didn't go so great. Now they're taking it out on you from beyond the grave. Okay. Like, I kind of get it. I feel like that's kind of a dream come true for me, actually, is to have a life that ends so poorly that I'm like, you know what? I'm keeping this train rolling and I'm going to take it out on you. And I find a person I really don't like and just fucking go after him. But the thing that's scary to me about these biological non-human things is you have no idea what they're thinking, right? You can't get inside their head. It's this totally unknowable thing. The alien, the xenomorph from Alien, right? A zombie. Like, you can't reason with them. In theory, you could talk to a ghost or another human and just be like, hey, bro, not feeling it. And then they would maybe move on if you were like cool enough. If the xenomorph is coming after you, you can't be like, yo, hold up. Let's talk about this, like you can with a human or, or a ghost potentially. So I think that's the thing that scares me the most about the biological stuff is there's just it's some unknowable pseudo consciousness that you can't really relate to. The other thing is in some of these like zombies or whatever, there's this whole like viral kind of medical science run rampant sort of thing. Like, you guys know how COVID started in a lab and was released into the world by a government that was trying to take out lots of people, right? You guys know all about this is an established fact, right?
Oh, shit, I didn't realize I was on the Joe Rogan show. This is crazy.
Jamie, fact check that.
Yeah.
A sentence Joe has never said.
Yeah. No, but it's this kind of like, I find these, we created a virus that got loose, which is in the Alien movies, which is a lot of zombie movies, this stuff, these arrogant scientists tried to do a thing and it got out. That stuff is like, there's no examples of that kind of happening in the real world, yet it is a thing that is like, vaguely plausible that it might happen. And so, you know what a good example of this is the fucking 12 monkeys virus, which is very scary to me, right? They just unleash it and it annihilates the world.
What's the 12 monkeys virus? I've not watched 12 monkeys.
Colavirus?
12 monkeys is actually pretty great, and the show is pretty great too. It's just some virus that annihilates half the world. So, something that I don't even think it's an implication. Basically, someone creates a bioweapon and they unleash it and wipes out most of humanity.
Sick.
And then animals kind of take over somewhat or something. I don't know.
Tale as old as time.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of the better Gilliam movies, I think. And there's some really fun. It's like a time loop thing based on a short film. Anyway, I like 12 Monkeys a lot. That's what scares me about the biological stuff is just the unknown coupled with science run amok.
I get that. Leighton.
Cool.
Okay. So I think that my level of fear of these things goes in reverse order, where I am most scared of humans and then like ghosts are lowest on the rungs here. Because I think
now,
there's a matter.
You're kind of a hypocrite because you are talking to humans right now.
Who says that I'm not terrified?
That's a good point. Yeah, actually.
I've been texting Leighton on the side. I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to get you.
Yeah. That would be such a power move.
You may not believe it, but that's how every single episode of this podcast is recorded. My second monitor is full of death threats.
I'm like, you better invite me back next Thanksgiving.
To go on someone's show and just be texting them threats the entire time.
I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, don't react to this. I'll fucking get you if I see you react to it. Oh, that's so funny.
So yeah, reverse order. Reverse
order. Humans are scariest to me. And I think there's the level of like survivability plus survivability of consciousness, right? With a biological thing that you don't understand, it's a creature, it's the xenomorph. Your chances are not good. You're not going to reason with it, but it is corporeal, it's real, it's probably an apex predator, and you're kind of done. Like, you're going to get brutalized and eaten, but you're going to be dead quick. With ghosts, you are going to be...
Okay, I'm not going to disagree. You know what? You have the floor. Sorry. Please.
They're going to torture you psychologically. You're going to see shit. They could potentially cause harm to you. But then even when you die, the death is not an escape. So, like, that's tough, but it's not scariest to me because I just don't buy into ghost, demon, whatever.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Human stuff is scariest to me because it's, like, plausible you could survive, and thus you need to work harder for it.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
It's more stressful. If xenomorph is coming after me, I'm like at peace, like, okay, I'm gonna die.
Not
With
me.
a human,
I'm fast. And it could not get me. I'm like 95%
You're built
sure
different. Yeah.
that if I was in a, in an aliens type situation on, was it LV 420, 426?
Yeah.
LV 420 plays it.
Way to pull that.
Yeah, right. I think it's 426 actually. 426 plays it +6. If I was on that planet, I would. They couldn't get me. I'm too fast.
okay.
Please continue.
Plausibility. I've never thought about. Yeah, if I'm in if I'm in a haunting or an alien situation, you're kind of right. I'm kind of just like, game over, man. I'm fucked.
Yeah, let go and let God.
But person, you're like, if I don't try, like,
yeah.
right.
So they're less deadly, but you have to deal with the trauma of having gone through it, is what you're saying?
Of getting through the experience of, like, humans are semi-known qualities. Like, I think there's this sort of up-in-the-air helplessness of the other two.
Right.
But human is real. And also, just in thinking about it's a very gut-based instinct. Like, home invasion horror movies scare me the worst because I am truly actually afraid of that.
Yes.
Whereas ghosts, never seen a ghost. I've never seen an alien. It's just the plausibility. I'm literally wearing a Texas Chainsaw Massacre shirt. As you may notice, Brian, this has not changed shirts since the last time we recorded.
I was going to say anything, but
But yeah, like a person is scarier to me. And also because a person can make whatever they're doing last for a very, very long time. It's not like one slash from a critter and you're done.
And they can trick you. I guess that's the other thing about a person, really, is they can seem cool and chill. Don't talk to my wife about this. But then when you really get to know them, they can be the worst person you've ever met. We all know people who seemed great on first blush, and then, a little bit down the road, I'm right here. A little bit down the road, you're like, oh, no, what? That's awful. Like,
I haven't revealed my hand to you guys yet, so you keep inviting me on your podcast. But, like, my day will come.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I've been in this band for actually 15. I can't talk about this right now.
But this is like why when I was playing Silent Hill 2, I was streaming to the Discord and Aaron was watching me play it, and he was really tickled by the fact that I am very, very reactive to horror games. Like, I will scream and yelp, which is not a thing with horror movies. I am zero. Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm 0% affected by horror movies scare-wise, but when it's a game, it's because I have agency and I get scared because I have to do shit. So I think that plays into this whole thing.
I feel like there's two types of people when it comes to this stuff, because I'm the polar opposite. I was talking about this with my coworkers the other day. We're like, in a horror film, especially a horror movie, if I'm like in a like public theater, I feel trapped. I feel like I am on a roller coaster ride that I cannot escape, and I can't do anything. If Jamie Lee Curtis is going to walk through this door and there's a killer in there, I can't be like, Jamie Lee Curtis, don't! You're an icon! No! There's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do for Jamie Lee Curtis in that situation. And I just like, again, Clockwork Orange style, I can't look away. I'm trapped. There's nothing I can do. In a game, if I know something bad is on the other side of the door, but at least it's on my terms. I can psych myself up and then be like, let's fucking go. And then I go through the door and I scream in like rage and terror.
Yeah, this is exactly how I am too. I'm on your side of the fence on this, Miles.
That's fascinating.
I can't deal with horror movies a lot of the time. They're too scary for me. I like playing horror games. I enjoy them.
Yeah, me
they're
too.
way more fun to me. And it is exactly the agency that makes them less scary to me.
Well, this probably speaks a lot to my psychological issues and, long-standing things with learned helplessness or whatever. But yeah, humans are scary.
Humans are scary. It's the most logical choice. Like, humans is the choice that makes the most sense. And
because you can also be like, those other two things don't exist, which essentially you said. But and
truly it's less about that, because I can certainly, especially when I think about my childhood when I was abjectly terrified of everything, especially the supernatural and especially aliens. Like, I know that fear because I experienced it for so long. This is what happens when you watch Signs too early.
I think we have talked. Yeah, what shit that scared you as a child? Like, I think we talked about this semi recently on the show, did we? Did we talk about this? I can't
We've
remember.
talked about it at some point on this show, but I want to hear Miles' answer because I don't think we've talked.
The thing that like really scared me as a child.
He's like that random fucking thing from some movie or TV show you saw or read or whatever that now you might go back and be like, what?
This
But
actually tracks. This actually tracks with my choice in the wheel of horror entities. It is the scene in Poltergeist where the mom falls into the unfinished pool in the middle of the torrential downpour and all the skeletons float to the top of the water. That headshot done like ultra kill. I was destroyed by that as a kid. Poltergeist scared the shit out of me.
We just watched and did a commentary track for Poltergeist when the show is like our Halloween episode, so it's fresh on the brain.
How did you enjoy it watching it in the year of our Lord 2024?
well, Layden had not seen it before, right?
No, I watched it when I was a kid, and it scarred
That's
me.
what. Sorry, that's what I meant. You had
high five. Hell yeah,
You hadn't
Layden.
seen it since you were a kid. That's right. That's
yeah,
what
I
it
hadn't,
was.
and I guess maybe similarly, the part that scared me in that movie the most and stuck with me forever was the face peeling off scene, which is technically
that's
supernatural, but it's human based. It's human gore.
Yeah. Now
That's tough.
That movie to me is just pure joy, start to finish. I love it so much. Again, not really a horror movie person. I will watch Poltergeist anytime, any day. I think it's just an amazing film, and it's so much fun.
I like it less every time I watch it, but the first time I watched The Conjuring, that was a fun ass movie. Like I don't hold it quite as high as I used to, but like there was something about it. It felt like a callback to like the 80s Exorcist era sort of movies. There's like a lot of like weirdly long zooms in that one. You got Office Space in there doing his thing. It's a fun time. That's a fun movie, dude.
That was shot in my hometown of Wilmington, North Carolina.
No shit.
And you can see buildings from the college where I took 2 years of classes there at the beginning.
Oh yeah, the Warrens go and talk there.
Well, I was going to say, I have good friends from the Skeptic's Guide to the Universe who are skeptical activists in Connecticut and like went and talked to the Warrens and said they are total jokes. And
trying to
none
get
of their,
blood from a stone there.
what a shock, right? None of the evidence is at all compelling. It's all silly, but these guys are now, they've become icons.
It's so funny too, because like at the end of that movie, right? They do I always think this is effective in a horror movie too, when they show like, because so many movies nowadays are like based on a true story, and you're like, yeah, okay. But whenever they show like, here's the picture of the actual person, like it adds to a bit of the like, ooh, like a little bit of a potential for goosebumps as the ominous credits roll. And I love in that movie where like it shows the family that was haunted in The Conjuring, and you're like, oh wow, it really happened. Wow. and then it shows the photos of the Warrens, and you go, oh wow, they're not as hot as the actors that portrayed them. They actually kind of look like weirdos.
They show you the Annabelle doll, and it's literally just a Raggedy Ann doll in a box that's like, danger. Yeah.
It's just Raggedy Ann. But that's like a copyrighted thing, so it couldn't be in the movie, and also it was scary.
I think the best version of that is the Mia Jovovich alien movie, The Fourth Kind, which is another movie that fucked me up when I was really young.
I only have a vague memory of this.
I rewatched it as an adult, I think with Susie and Aaron, and honestly, it fucks. I just love the whole, like, the Mesopotamian gods were aliens thing, because it's presented as, like, Mia Jovovich being like, this is based on a true story, and the character that I'm portraying is real, and it's, like, spliced in with quote-unquote real footage. It's really committed to, like, trying to present it as if it's a real thing, which is really cute.
You know what? For
the
gods were aliens thing, nothing does this better than Stargate. Stargate, like the ancient Egyptian gods were all like aliens in like battle masks. And then so they make this, right? They make this movie, which is pretty fun. And then with Kurt Russell and James Spader. And then it becomes like a massive sci-fi kind of TV universe with 3 different shows, and it's a whole thing, and they really spin it out. It's awesome. I love Stargate.
What era of fuckability is James Spader in Stargate? I gotta do some Googling.
He's not his most fuckable, but he's definitely pretty fuckable. He plays like hot scientist guy. The deal is Kurt Russell. Kurt Russell is the military guy, and also quite fuckable. But I would say actually in Stargate, Kurt Russell is fuckabler than James Spader.
I don't know. It's different types because I'm looking at the pictures of two of them, and I think that if you have a type, you're gonna go for one or the other. You know,
I think that's true. Like,
I don't think you could point at it and say like, because I think that James Spader in this like little Paul Dano getting beaten up look is way more fuckable than this Kurt Russell because we've seen Kurt Russell in The Thing and Escape from New York and Big Trouble in Little China. That's peak Kurt Russell fuckability.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with that. That's definitely Big Trouble in Little China. Kurt Russell is by far the most fuckable Kurt Russell by a long shot.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm looking at Spader's hair. I'm looking at Spader's hair in these pictures, and it's given the ick for me, man.
Okay, but his hair through his entire Sex Freak era, his hair is dreadful. Like Sex Lies and Videotape. So hot in that movie, his hair is a war crime.
His hair looks like Armin from Attack on Titan. That's what he looks like. I can't.
It's like the weird little Benjamin Franklin glasses are doing it for me.
No, the Franklin glasses, absolutely. It's giving the Atlantis Disney movie. That dude.
Yeah.
Okay, look at the guy who so they change when they make the TV show, they recast these characters. So for Kurt Russell, they swap in Richard Dean Anderson, aka MacGyver, who is awesome. And what's the name of the guy that they cast for Spader? If you say his name, I'll be like, oh yeah, him.
Nope, you walk this road alone. You walk this road alone.
You do.
Daniel Jackson, I think is the character's name.
Daniel Jackson, Stargate. I'm searching it.
Hold on. Is it? It's something like Matthew Shanks. Maybe?
I'm looking for it. Looking for it here.
I should.
You're so close. You're really close. It's
Baby Sharks.
It's Michael Shanks. Michael Shanks.
Shanks. Okay, yeah.
Let me look at this guy.
They kept the glasses. Yeah.
I feel like he's hotter than Spader, but I don't know.
False.
Okay, that's your opinion.
Michael Shanks.
I feel like you would find him hotter if in watching Stargate the movie you think that Kurt Russell is the hotter one. You would find this guy hotter. That's my
and
thought,
that's where I am.
It's the same face.
You sniped me from across the internet, Leighton. I was thinking Kurt Russell's a little, a little cuter. I'm looking at Michael here.
But wait, have you guys not seen Stargate the movie?
Tragically,
I've seen the movie.
I have not.
But I haven't seen it since I was like a kid watching it on TV.
So I haven't seen the movie as recently as I've seen the TV show. It's fun. Like, it's just they find this fucking thing in the desert or whatever, and they realize it's a portal, and then they like set it up and go through it. And then suddenly, I mean, the idea is a very fun idea. Suddenly they're basically in ancient Egypt, and the discovery is that ancient Egypt copied all their shit from these aliens that came to Earth.
Humans would be like, we actually did that.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Of course, Brian is obsessed with the thing that's about a big old hole that you can go into.
Look, well, here's the thing about the hole, right? You don't have to go through the entire hole. You can put part of your body in the hole, any part you want, and like you don't get sucked into it. You can just it's the world's largest glory hole is what this thing is. You can just stand on one side of it and put whatever you want through.
You don't know what's on the other end.
Kind of see what happens. And it could be, it's something from the distant regions of space that's suddenly having its way with you. And you're like, cool.
No questions asked. Well, I'm just here for the ride.
For a good time, call, and then it's hieroglyphics.
That's a very funny idea. The costumes are very fun in this, and they're all like Egyptian gods and stuff. It's cool. It's great, but they turn out to be armor. So like the what's the jackal god?
Ra? Osiris?
No. Maybe Osiris? I can't
Ramses?
remember.
No, that's Courage the Cowardly
Dog. That's
a pharaoh.
Anyway, they turns out to be armor that these aliens. It's great.
That's sick.
Very space jockey.
I really like it a lot. Everybody, this is Late Night with Brian Wecht. My name is Brian Wecht. Over here, sitting across from me, all across the internet, is Leighton Gray.
that's me. Everyone, please let me know where you stand on the Kurt Russell to James Spader Stargate fuckability spectrum. Mystery guest, who are you?
Hi, I'm Miles Luna, but this is kind of like a cute little tradition at this point. So maybe you knew, you longtime listeners.
Yeah, this is the fourth time, I believe.
Third or fourth, something like that. Yeah.
Time
flies.
Third or fourth, I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a tradition. It is an annual
It's our
tradition.
Thanksgiving tradition.
Our Thanksgiving
We give
episode
thanks.
is the Miles episode. This will be up the day after Thanksgiving, and we will have celebrated with, Leighton, you and I will be celebrating Thanksgiving together this year.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah.
We always do that.
We always do that.
sweet.
You
I
couldn't
love
come
that.
last year because you weren't feeling well.
Because I got
but this
very
year-
ill.
Yes.
And hopefully I don't get very ill this time.
I hope so, too.
Yes. Why did you say that like it was a maybe? Like maybe getting ill could who knows?
Well, because it's been intermittent. Maybe
enough.
for this one, Brian, I'll decide to go on my roof again the day before, and then.
Oh, you should do it. Well, we have to talk about this because
Yeah,
he
you
doesn't know
said
what you're talking about.
words that-
Just say
what?
it real quick. Now, we talk about this
Okay.
almost every episode, but
We don't have to
real
go
quick.
into the
Real
whole
quick.
thing, but in the
Real quick.
intervening time
Just
since
say it
I've
real
seen you
quick.
last,
Leighton, wait, just say it real, please. Just get it over with. Just say it real quick. Just real quick, okay? Just real fast. Just get it over with, like real fast. All right, like don't wait. Just say it. Just say it. Just tell him. Just say.
so
Leighton has kicked Brian from the call.
Nope, I'm back, baby.
so I went
You
on my.
can't.
But she
This is
can't.
so
She did
uncool.
it again. She keeps doing it.
No one will know what's happening.
Brian, are you going to behave?
I think when I. It's good. It's very good. It's
I don't know
exactly
why
what I
I've
would
never
do.
thought to do that before.
Well, here's the fun part about this is it will definitely not translate to the audio episode.
I'm
It's
sure I just
very,
made
very
it
funny.
infinitely harder for Rich, but it was really funny.
Now, look, if I
Now
were
we're in the
a-
wrong order.
Well, I was going to say, if I were a vindictive man, I would do the same thing to you, but that would be an abuse of power.
Yeah, that would be really fun.
She did. You did that
Brian.
to yourself, and I.
No, I didn't.
watched-
You can't prove anything.
Uh-huh.
All I can say is I've also been trying to kick Brian for the last 30 seconds.
I like how the podcast equivalent of stop hitting yourself is stop muting yourself. Stop muting yourself, Leighton. Stop muting yourself.
Oh, Christ, man. Okay, time out.
I have to
Ceasefire.
revoke your privileges from this.
Ceasefire. Leighton, you go on. Tell me about going on the roof. Brian said some words, and I want to know more about them.
C'est la vie. That's I managed to get through my whole life without breaking any bones, and then I did 7 in one fell swoop.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't jump off roofs, kids.
3 away from your 10-bone punch card, though. Almost there.
Sorry. That's when they put another bone in you.
Get that extra
You get
bone.
bonus bone, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, if you could pick a bonus bone, what would you want?
Oh, to get
shit.
another bone?
Yeah.
I think I would extend Gattaca style my middle finger. So I'd go. This is the second episode in a row where I've said the phrase Gattaca style. I just go. But I would get this and I would go, vroom, and then make it twice as long so I could really flip people.
Well, you should get
off,
like
right?
an additional joint so you can unfurl it multiple times and then it goes up again, like Inspector Gadget style.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's what I would
This
do.
is one of the instances where I'm like, an extra bone anywhere actually I think causes more problems than just not having the bone.
That's true. I could imagine like you can lose some bones and it wouldn't be the end of the world. Extra bones feel like they're all going to cause problems.
Okay, so the extra bone doesn't have to go in you. You can donate the extra bone to a different person.
To cause them
You can
pain.
curse
nice.
them with it. Yes.
Oh.
Someone's getting an extra pelvis. I don't know who yet, but it's really gonna fuck up their day.
Big ticket item. I think if I were to go for like max evil, it would be something, the extra bone causes a protuberance, but more importantly, it's sitting right on top of a nerve. Like it's an extra bone right by your like sciatic
like a bone
nerve
spur,
or something.
right? Yeah.
Actually, that's a great idea. I would give one specific person real bone spurs.
Wow. Who?
You'll never guess.
Are they on this call right now?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Are they on this call and not Miles?
Is it tooth? Is it
someone who's famously lied about having them?
Oh, right. Yeah.
Is a tooth a bone? A single tooth that counts
They're
as a bone?
outside
Yeah.
bones.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I'd give myself one big middle tooth.
Oh, actually, no. You know what? Sorry, this is relevant. So I was talking to. This is a long story. I discovered that there's an old. I can't remember their genre, but there's a band called The Teeth that was active maybe about 15, 20 years ago. Okay.
Okay.
So they were around for a while. They took a 16-year break and just recently reformed. Now, let me ask you, if you were in a band called The Teeth and you took a long break and then came back, what name would you perform under?
Dentures.
If you had to choose another name, Dentures is really good.
I would say The Wisdom Teeth.
Yeah, that tracks. That tracks.
Right?
Fine.
And they didn't do it.
Yeah.
And this is, I don't know these guys personally. I have another friend who was in a band called The Teeth. That's how I found out about it. And I looked them up. It is the wrong band, blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, okay, but they got back together and they didn't call themselves The Wisdom Teeth? What a missed opportunity. Don't you remember the Cars, the famous band, You Might Think, Drive, etc. There's some version of the Cars that called themselves The New Cars, right?
Right.
So, which by the way is terrible, but still.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, Brian.
Yeah.
Brian, I'm just gonna say the fact that they didn't call themselves the Wisdom Teeth meant they didn't have the wisdom to earn it, man.
That might be true.
They didn't deserve it. They didn't deserve
might
it.
have done some
Sorry, the
self-reflection.
teeth. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I had my box of teeth handy. That would be a really great
Yeah, that would be
sight
good.
gag here. Because I do have one.
What's your...
It's like 132 teeth in there.
God,
Here's a-
When you
Yeah.
shake it, it sounds like a maraca.
Here's a band question for you. What's the best band with the worst name? And don't say Ninja Sex Party.
Neutral Milk Hotel,
That's a very good answer.
Margot and the Nuclear So-and-Sos, but I wouldn't argue.
Is that a real
best.
band? I
It
don't
is.
know that
They're
at
very
all.
twee.
don't know. All my brain is giving me is great band names.
I think Led Zeppelin is a pretty bad band name, honestly.
Really? I think it's
Yeah,
fun.
I don't like it.
I like it.
No. Bob Dylan.
What's Bob Dylan's real name?
Robert Zimmerman.
Robert Dylan. No.
Yeah.
Robert Dylan.
It's Robert Zimmerman, right?
Really?
Yeah. I think so.
I meant that more as like a bit, but
No, he has
That
a
makes
real name.
sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me look at.
Bobby Z. Bobby
well, wait.
Zed,
So
excuse me.
what's your answer to this question? Best band with worst name?
I'm trying to think of it offhand. So I'm trying to go through bands I like, and then I think honestly, Radiohead is a bad band name. I love Radiohead. I don't
take
like
that
name.
I love the band name Radiohead. I'm a big fan of the Mighty Imperials, and I think that band name is just kind of fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so the line between. I was thinking about this recently. I remember when what was Comedy Death Ray Radio changed its name after a couple years or whatever of podcasting to be Comedy Bang Bang. And at the time thinking, this is the dumbest and worst shit imaginable. Why the fuck would you call your show this? I hate it. I think it's terrible. Now, I can't imagine that show being called anything else. It does not bother me in the least.
Yeah.
I think it's completely fine, and that's what
It
is.
is
It's great.
objectively the worst name.
It's
Of the two.
which is yes, but it is now. It doesn't literally tweak me at all. I think that's just fine. That's just what it is. Yeah. So you just
really
get
like-
used to these things.
I really like the band name. I really like the band Diarrhea Planet. And at first I was like, I don't know how I feel about that band name. But after listening to Diarrhea Planet, I'm kind of like, you got it in one. You guys nailed it.
I've heard of them, but I've never heard their stuff. Is it good?
If it's what I think it is, hold on, let me just double check here.
And that's a real band for sure.
Yes, they did write Ghost with a Boner, and that song kicks ass.
How do I not know this band?
They're really good. Shout out to Joe Nicolosi for introducing me to Diarrhea Planet.
I got like Ghost with a Boner could be an NSP song. Like that.
It really could, yeah.
I mean, for sure.
It's the only lyrics in the song. Ghost with the boner, ghost with the boner, ghost with the boner. It's beautiful. It's great. It's just dudes jamming and shouting into a microphone. It's really bad audio quality.
I have another answer to this question. Ween. Ween is a great band. With a fucking awful name. That's so bad.
When I was at the Weird Al concert with your wife instead of you,
I forgot about that. Yeah.
It's the only time I've seen somebody with a Ween tattoo. And of course, it was in line for a Weird Al concert. And it wasn't even like a design either. It just like really big on his arm just said Ween.
Yeah, Ween's a great band. Like the albums are they're really fun, good musicians. They're very eclectic. I like Ween a lot.
I really like the album Evil Friends by Portugal period the Man. And now that I think about it, Portugal period the Man is like, what are we doing, guys? What are we doing?
It's like that.
Dude, I fucking love Portugal the Man though.
They're so good though. They're so good.
And it tracks with like their earlier at like Waiter You Vultures is their first album, right? That has really good stuff on it, but like the song titles are all in that sort of like Portugal the Man.
Yeah.
This is before they started being used in commercials constantly, which good for them.
Oh.
Good for them. Get that bag.
Yeah, but that Danger Mouse Evil Friends era is like peak. Love it.
Love that album.
You're causing yourself a world of hurt if you put punctuation in your band name.
Panic at the Disco,
Godspeed You Black Emperor.
True.
It's I don't know. It just seems like it's kind of a self-own.
Death from Above 1979. That's another bad one.
That is a bad band name. Yes.
But to be fair, I think about it all the time, which for some reason I'm constantly thinking about things falling and killing you. So I think that one more than...
Well, this is actually... Okay, so that's a category we didn't include in our horror movies, which is natural disaster.
Ooh.
Which is sort of a different thing, right? So,
you're right, yeah.
And it's kind of a horror movie. It's usually more of like a thriller thing, but...
Yeah.
Would we just call it like nature?
Twister.
Nature, I
like
guess.
Nature. Yeah. Like 127 hours. Like, I don't know if I'd consider it a horror, but there are like... horrifying moments in that. Yeah.
That's true survival horror.
What's the semi-recent one about the two girls that climb up the giant tower? Fall? Is that what it's called?
I think it's just called Fall.
Yeah.
Huh.
Fall.
That's a horror movie, but
yeah, it's called Fall.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think those don't get me because the entity of nature is not treated like a malevolent force in the way that human supernatural or biological threats are, because as you say, they're more like thriller action movies.
It almost falls into the category of human. It was human error to go scuba diving, and now I'm in the movie Open Water. Like that was me. I only have me to blame. If the sharks eat me, good for them.
Well, is that or is it biological shark?
Oh shit.
Yeah,
I would consider it. I think I'd fit it under human because like the sharks are part of it, but the real horror is just like I fucked it. I really fucked it, and now I'm here, and this is me. I'm trapped with my own decisions.
But couldn't you have made that the same error like with a demon because you played with a Ouija board? Because that's human induced.
You're right.
Technically.
No, you've convinced me. You've 100% convinced me. You're right.
Here's one that doesn't fall into any category we have, which I think is natural. There's an old Twilight Zone episode. I can't remember what it's called, but like the Earth keeps getting closer to the sun, and everybody like this. People are just getting hotter and hotter and hotter, and life is getting worse and worse. And then it turns out it's all been a delusion, and the Earth is actually getting farther away from the sun, and everyone's freezing to death.
Oh, whoa.
So
That rules. I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I forget what it's called.
Would that not be human?
No, it's not human caused, I believe. It's just like this
But it's like
thing
insanity.
that is happening. Yeah.
It's like a
Yeah, it depends on what the focus is. Is it that like society is breaking down because people are wilding out? Because I think you could look at that as like the purge is a human one.
Yeah,
because other people are the problem.
Yep. Although you got to admit it's a good idea. Right.
The purge?
The purge, yeah. Like, who could be anti-purge?
The purge is tomorrow, Brian. What's the first thing you're doing?
Oh, let's just establish what the purge is. The purge is everything
All
is legal.
crime is
right?
legal for 24 hours. Yeah.
Oh, I'm BitTorrenting like a lot of shit. Like all of it. All that stuff. I would like full seasons of ER just are getting downloaded immediately. Yeah, because it's legal. Like you can't stop me. I'm getting entire discographies. Of course, I'll pay the artist later, but I'm that's what I'm doing. I'm using the internet. Also, I'm gonna go on the dark web just to like poke around and see what it's like because I think it'd be really fun. And then I'm a little worried about doing it right now, just to be like, just see what's out there. Maybe meet some new friends and be like, hey, I'm not doing anything illegal, but just for today, like, do you want to hang out? And I think we could have a really, really good time. And I bet what would happen, and this is why I'd want to do it, is there would be other people exactly like me who are like, oh my God, let's go on the dark web for the first time today. This is so fun. And then we would become best friends. We'd have a little meetup group. We'd get together for coffee like every third Tuesday, and we'd talk about the stuff we want to do. And that way, when the next purge rolls around, we'd have a little community and we could all go purging together. That's what I would do on the purge.
That's friendship,
it'd be really fun.
You wouldn't download a car unless it's purge day.
Leighton, what would you do on purge day?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I could answer realistically and say that I am in a bunker somewhere holding multiple guns. But if I'm doing a more active role in purging, I'm that Criterion closet is not safe. Yeah. I will find it and I will go in there and I'll bring my own camera too, so I can make a video while I'm robbing them blind of every Criterion they have.
That's right. I'm busting into NPR and doing my own Tiny Desk concert. Because fuck them. They're going to hear this shit if they want to or not.
Yeah.
I'm also going to increase the desk size just a little bit.
It's a teeny
just
bit.
To fuck over
I don't know. I feel like
person.
they're constantly expanding the desk size. It's
at
not,
some point,
I wouldn't call that a tiny desk.
It's not too tiny anymore, and everybody knows it, and nobody has the guts to say it until now. Yeah.
Yeah. We're speaking truth to power. And the power, that desk is not tiny.
No, it's not. There are some...
Miles, what would you do on Purge Day?
Honestly, if I'm not cowering in fear, barricaded in my home, I think I'd want to just tag some shit. Like, I think I'd go out and get as much spray paint as I could, and just like, and I have to be clear, never in my life have I really fucked with spray paint outside of like decorating a science fair project board. So it's not going to be good, but like, hey, you got to start somewhere, right? I've recently been informed by a friend of mine in Austin that there is a very prominent dude or dudette who tags stench. Their name is Stench.
Ooh,
and
that's good.
Ever since someone pointed out, oh, dude, there's a stench. Stench is everywhere. Stench is all over Austin, Texas. I think Austin, Texas belongs to Stench. And I'd love to just like do my own, like I'd be like Stinky. Like I'd just like tag Stinky everywhere. Like I'm Stench's, I'm his Robin to his Batman.
You could also make a little like whatever you call the stencil for it. That's just like a bottle of Febreze or something.
Yeah,
and every time you see a stench, you slap a little Febreze there.
So I have a relevant story I would like to tell here. About a week ago, I was taking Audrey to a doctor's appointment. And after the appointment, we're riding the elevator down. And on the elevator with us is a mom holding a baby, let's say, a very young child, and has...
Was there ever a question in this?
I don't want to assume it
could have been a sack of oranges, but we'll call it a baby.
Just because it looks like a baby, I didn't want to assume it was a baby, but it was a
Category 4, man versus baby.
Yeah. It was a young human. Cool. So let's call a young human a baby. Okay, can we stipulate to that? So this mom's holding a baby, and she's got two other kids with her, two boys who were maybe, I don't know, like 11 and 6. And we're riding this elevator down, not too many floors, 4 floors or so. And about 10 seconds into the journey, the 6-year-old boy goes, "Mom, I think that the baby," I forgot the baby's name, "the baby has a poop in the diaper." And this kid looks at me and he goes, "I'm really good at smelling poop." Looks me dead in the eyes. And then his mom is like, "Jason." And this kid then goes, "What? I love the stench."
No, Brian, you're fucking with me.
And this woman almost died on the elevator. She was mortified. And I'm with Audrey, who is also like, "What's going on?" But, I forgot an important part of this story, which maybe, I can't believe I forgot to say this. So this kid looks at me and goes, "I'm really good at smelling poo." And I immediately said, "Oh my God, me too." So I think that only embarrassed the mom more. Because my rule, when a kid engages with me in public, I am engaging. I'm going to talk to the kid. We're going to have a good time. Like, it's going to be funny. I'm going to start cracking dad jokes and be weird and stuff like that.
That's the right
And
thing.
tell them how much you love the smell of a baby's
How much you love
Yeah.
the stench,
So
Brian.
that, I didn't tag in on that one because I was like, I feel like even me saying "me too," good at smelling poop, that might be over the line. I don't want to get arrested. So when this kid then went, "I love the stench," I was like, I'm gonna actually let this one lie. And then the elevator doors open and this woman races out, dragging her children. And I watched. Audrey and I were heading one direction in the parking lot. She's going another. And I watched her do that mom thing where she's like, "I can't believe you," a situation I've certainly been in a bunch of times. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Damn,
But-
dude.
That's amazing. That lady is going to feel so much better when she knows that you've shared it with hundreds of listeners.
Everybody.
on a-
Yep.
on a
And here's her
podcast.
name and address.
That is
Wow.
an
Why don't-
S-tier child interaction.
Why don't we move on to segments? Our first segment on the show, Miles, is our pop culture recommendation segment. Now, you've been through this process a few times, and it's changed a bit over the years. These days, we kind of optimized it. I think we're really dialing it in. It's a little tighter than it has been. We were someone pointed out to me, and I hadn't realized this, that for a while we were letting the introductions, and I blame Layton for this one, kind of letting the introductions stretch. Because you know how, when you're co-hosting with someone, you kind of trust that if there's something that needs fixing or whatever, they'll at least... You should not have this power.
I really shouldn't. It's just too easy. I was waiting for the perfect moment.
Shit,
too.
It's
and
going to
you
make
found
my
it,
life
Layton.
so
You
much
fucking
worse
found
when I
it.
edit this. Anyway, as I was saying, you'd hope they have the decency to point out your flaws as well as give you occasional praise, which is something I do with Layton every episode. I said, we have our little checklist. I tell her the things that she has a report card that I fill out for her every episode. And it's generally pretty supportive. There's some honest feedback there, which women like. And I think it actually
Women
has
love
improved.
being graded.
I agree, and I think it has improved the show. So we're a little bit different. We're doing this a little differently now than we used to, and I think you'll pick up on some of the similarities and the differences. Okay. The theme song has not changed, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. But this is the section of the show where you get to talk about something you've been enjoying recently, something in pop culture. I think last time, actually, you recommended Scavenger's Reign, which I ended up watching. And,
Which we both watched.
Yes. And we talked about it on the show.
Hey!
Yeah, and I watched it entirely because you recommended it on this. So you
lovely.
can talk about
Same.
whatever you want, book, movie, video game, anything you like, pop culture, both high and low. And this segment is called What's Poppin', and the theme song goes here.
What's poppin'?
What's poppin'?
That's some good
Now
stuff.
we put that in. Thank you. I was gonna say we put it in post, but I know you love it. I'm not even gonna ask. Normally I would ask, what do you think? We've been through this whole thing before.
We
the
know.
last thing I would want is to waste anyone's time, least of all yours. So I'm not even gonna ask you the question what you think about the theme song this time. If you expressed an opinion, which of course I value and appreciate, but I'm not gonna drag this out any further than I already have. I know we have a hard out in 30 seconds, so I'm just gonna make sure not to waste any more of your.
Of course, and I wouldn't go through the trouble of he's gone and Leighton has kicked him out. What is popping? Oh, the question of the hour. I haven't been quite as superhero movie guy as I have been in the past. It had its time in the sun. I loved it. Just nothing's really tickled my fancy. Nothing's really brought me in until a friend of mine recommended to me, and I couldn't believe it, The Penguin. The spin-off HBO series spun off of the Batman film, which I think is now my favorite Batman movie. I love the detective side of Batman. I think it's beautifully shot, and I love the noir. They went fully noir detective with it. Loved it. Dig it. Robert Pattinson, great job. Love you as an actor.
Great.
The Penguin. Colin Farrell's The Penguin. Hey guys, it's just The Sopranos again, but in Gotham. It is surprisingly funny, and I thought like they were going to introduce some characters who aren't like a named, member of the Batman Rogues Gallery, and I was like, you're going to try and get me to care about somebody I don't care about. Wrong. All the new characters are great. It's really fun. What I respect most about this show is, aside from like a somewhat mandatory, like previously on what happened in the Batman movie, the opening scene of this show is like, hey, here's our protagonist, here's the tone, here are the stakes. It's been 5 minutes. Are you in or not? You know the answer. And I'm in. I'm very in. I love The Penguin. Really great show.
Cool.
Highly recommend it.
Awesome. Yeah, I watched the first episode, and I kind of half watched it, to be honest. I was like dicking around. I think I was playing Cuphead or something while I was watching it. And you can't not concentrate on a cup. So I didn't pay enough attention, but I did enjoy what I saw. And I think I want to go back and watch it again and then watch the rest of the thing.
I think the reason I love it so much is it has infected the way that my wife and I speak to one another. And when I say that, I mean the way my wife speaks to me. She now will constantly talk about, when she heads off in the morning, she's like, I got to go do the work. It's the work, baby. I gotta do it for my mother, for my father. I gotta go do the work. And I love you so much, dollface, but the work, it's calling to me. And she hasn't stopped doing this for weeks.
This is exactly what happened to me after I watched the Penguin and Batman Returns. And then I talked like this to Rachel all the time. Rachel, what are you doing, Rachel? Give me the raw fish, Rachel. Yeah.
All of our audio listeners are like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I hope that bit's done. But no, it's the work, and you got to do it. You got to do it for your mother. You got to do it for your father. You got to do the work.
For your mother.
Jesus Christ. Amazing. The Penguin. That's what's popping for Miles.
It's fun. It's some good popcorn-ish.
WP for you. And the WP, in case you weren't clear, stands for What's Poppin'.
Yeah, no, I picked up on that. What's poppin' for me is, this is one of those ones where I'm going to share a thing that I really, really enjoyed, but that I'm not recommending.
Ooh, fascinating.
So It's a book called The Sluts by Dennis Cooper. I don't recommend that anybody read this book. It is, in terms of content,
I've watched like a bunch of short films kind of about this very thing.
Yeah. In terms of content, it's like as objectionable as could be.
Okay.
But I loved it. It's like written, and this came out, like, it feels so ahead of its time. Came out in like 2005 or something, but it's stories on like an escort message board where people are reviewing this one guy named Brad, and it's like this long unfolding tale of the saga of Brad, and it's incredibly violent, disturbing. Like, it's not, if you have to ask what the trigger warning is, don't read this, because the answer is already, you're not going to like this. But as a piece of like metafiction and being so prescient about like parasocial relationships and the way that truth gets exaggerated and like, you know, how it affects reality. And also it's one of the more disturbing books I've ever read in terms of just like, it's very graphic, but also one of the funniest books that I've read recently. So I don't know. What's popping for me is The Sluts by Dennis Cooper. And now I'm reading his other stuff, which I'm reading Frisk right now, which I'm not done with, but I'm enjoying. I don't recommend it to people. There may be like 3 people listening to this who would probably really love it, and everyone else just don't do it. So that's what's popping for me.
Hell yeah, dude.
The sluts. Brian, what's popping for you?
Well, what's popping for me this week is I was yesterday. I was enjoying my lunch, and as I will occasionally do during a meal, I'm browsing around for something to watch, taking a little break from work, and I decided, let's look around on the Criterion channel. I pay whatever it is, $99 a year for this streamer. I should watch more than 3 films a year on it. So let's watch something. And I stumbled across the 12 Angry Men from 1997, directed by William Friedkin, which stars the main guy, Jack Lemmon, George C. Scott, James Gandolfini, Courtney B. Vance, William Peterson, Edward James Olmos. Let's see, who else is... Oh, Hume Cronin is there. There are a couple other people. Ossie Davis is one of the guys.
You're at the point now where you could say any name with any level of excitement, and I'd be like, I know who that is, sure.
Yeah, Tony Danza. Yeah, I'm not kidding. Actually, he's really
Wait,
in. He's one of
really?
the main roles. Yes.
No way.
Yeah.
These are like my favorite angry men, and there's 12 of them?
Yeah, I know. And some of them, well, not little spoilers, some of them are really angry. Some of them are angrier than others. And it's like, you know, this thing, it's a classic, you know, film, play, et cetera, whatever it is. I think it's made for TV film originally and then film. I don't know. But it's like these amazing actors, these like murderer's row of actors, and some of whom are not playing into the type of acting you've seen before from them. Ooh. And I really, really enjoyed it. It's simple. Like, they start in a courtroom. This kid is found, you know, the trial is over, and the judge, what's her name? Mary McDonald, from the president from Battlestar Galactica, is the judge. The only woman even vaguely on screen in this entire movie. Then sends the titular 12 Angry Men into the jury room, and that's the movie. And then it's them talking. And it's
who's playing juror number 8?
Who's let's see, which one is 8?
He's the main one who's being rational.
That's Jack Lemmon.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, and he's great. You know, it's like Glenn Ross era Jack Lemmon. So he's like an older guy. Yeah. It's so compellingly written. You know, it's just this one room and it's just people talking, and it's fantastic. And it really is. It's kind of one thing that I hadn't seen any version of this in a long time. It's this kind of like class and critical thinking. Okay, what do we know? What assumptions are we making? Let's examine those. And there's one guy who's kind of leading the charge. Okay, like, and he's Jack Lemmon. It says from the start, look, I don't know if the guy is guilty or not guilty. Here's what I want to talk more about. And gradually wins them all over. And some of them reluctantly, some of them less reluctantly. George C. Scott is the main, like, angry guy, the last one. Like,
I was gonna guess who's the really racist Ed Begley one. Of course, it's George C. Scott.
Well, actually, George C. Scott isn't the racist one. There is a guy who is, I think it's juror 10, who is the racist one, who is a black guy, like, identifies as former Nation of Islam person, who is the one who says nakedly racist stuff. George C. Scott is the guy, he's juror number 3, I think, who is the one who has a fucked up relationship with his kid and is a total asshole, but not exactly a racist, at least as I recall. Like, one guy says racist stuff. and other people have various other issues. I thought it was so great. Time just flew by, and I love a courtroom drama, but it's not a courtroom drama. It's 12 people talking in a room, and it's great. So, and it's also William Friedkin, so it's masterful director, just really fun.
The original 12 Angry Men is really good too. Sidney Lumet rules.
Yep. Who's in it? I can't even remember. Who's like
Henry Fonda.
Right.
And others.
You know how I feel about him. I'm pretty fond of him.
Kick him again. Leighton, you can do it. Kick him again.
Don't do it. Leighton, don't do it. Please. I wish we could see. I wish it recorded the little thumbnails of us on the bottom here. Can you see these, Miles?
That's the best part.
I can't see them, no.
Yeah, so there's 3 like little thumbnails of us, which are the real-time video, and you could just see me like raging, tiny mad Brian.
Yes, raging is totally what you were doing.
All right, well, that's it for What's Poppin', and now it is time for our second and final segment.
Woo!
Yes, our second and final segment, which is 3 parts gratitude exercise, 1 part petty grousing. The name of the segment is Peaches and Lemons, and the theme song goes right here.
Peaches and lemons. Peaches and lemons.
Maybe what did you think of the theme song?
I liked it.
Maybe can talk.
Yeah.
Whoa!
I didn't quite get it, but that was my attempt at, I say we let him go.
I wish I could kick my dog from this call.
Yeah.
You're out of line. So we'll each start with a lemon, which is the thing that bums you out for 10 minutes. Mixing it up. I'm only saying that.
Okay. Here's my lemon. It's an easy one. I signed up actually many months ago now for Blue Sky, the Twitter replacement. Pretty fun over there.
X.
Oh yeah, thank you. I appreciate that correction. You're entirely correct. I signed up for Blue Sky, and now it was for a little bit invite only as they were kind of rolling it out, and then it opened wide a while ago. And I just, it's been a while since I've just I was never really just tweet kind of thoughts. I do it occasionally. I said, let me see the vibe here on Blue Sky. And I posted something yesterday which got the classic Twitter, people misunderstanding what I was saying, unsolicited advice, weird reply guys, like 30-something comments about shit that I wasn't even talking about, including one guy who was like, yo, you need to chill. Where I was like, what is going on here? And it was, my rule, I don't reply. I generally don't reply to people on social media, but certainly no one who comes at me with any negative energy is getting a reply one way or the other. But just looking at, generally it was just people chiming in their thoughts, but a lot of them were entitled and irrelevant. And I was like, fuck. Oh, well.
Wait, what was the post?
Is it the one about 5th grade math?
Yes, it's the one about 5th grade math where I was just like, the point of what I was saying was not, oh, they teach math so weird now. It's like they teach it in a way that people who understand math don't think like. Like when I am a professional mathematician, when I see how they're teaching it, that's not how a mathematician thinks about it, which is all I'm saying. And there's things you could say if it's right or wrong or whatever. No real judgment, but it is not how a professional mathematician thinks. That was the statement.
I'd like to point out that it wasn't that I clocked that as a controversial tweet. I just went to your Blue Sky page and I was like, oh, 81 comments, like 90 comments, 305 comments.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. That sucks.
Yeah, and it's like, did I say something controversial? Not really. But of course, then people like, whatever. It's the usual amount of thinking I'm talking about one thing when I'm not, whatever.
Yeah.
But it just bummed me out because I was like, not that I needed validation. I just didn't want to see the fucking reply guys come out of the woodwork again.
Maybe the hope that Blue Sky would be a little different.
I think it is. It does seem to have fewer, shall we say, Nazis on it so far,
Or
which is a
like
good thing.
of the hello, see my pussy, click here. Bots.
Yes. All right, we got
Titties
that
in
clean.
bio.
That's it.
All right.
Yeah.
You can't. Oh, I'm all alone. They kicked each other. What's happening?
I'm back.
I kicked
Mom
myself.
and Dad were gone.
Dude, we almost had a real Skinamarink situation.
Yeah,
Actually,
hell yeah,
Miles,
we did.
you're set up real well with for a Skinamarink type
We love
situation. Look at
Skinamarink
that
in
room.
this house. We're
This
all
is-
big Skinamarink fans here.
My house is, sorry, audio listeners, my house is a shell now as we're getting ready to move. There's just nothing anywhere.
Oh, it is Skinamarink-y, yeah.
I'm in Skinamarink City right now.
I
dog.
literally thought you
love
were in
it.
a closet.
I
Just
love
the way
You
that
wouldn't,
Guns N'
pretty much.
That Guns N' Roses song, Skinamarink City, is one of my favorites.
Hell yeah. And you know what? Good band name, Guns N' Roses.
That joke dropped like a lead balloon. Anyway, that's my lemon. Like a Led Zeppelin, actually. Who's got a lemon? Who's got another lemon?
I got a
I
lemon.
have one.
Oh, go. No, please take
No,
it.
you're the guest. Go.
Okay. Government websites. I'm
dude.
currently working on acquiring a visa to go to the UK because my wife got a really cool opportunity at the BBC. Hooray!
I've been through that process.
2024 was the year of me realizing that I have anxiety. And I can't wait to talk to somebody about that. But right now, I'm trying to move to another country, and I have a very particular anxiety that like double teams with my ADHD, which is like, hey, are there a bunch of forms that you can't fuck up even a little bit?
Oh my God, yes.
That is
I relate to this.
awful for me. And so that's what I've been going through. And it really, what it does is I get secondhand anger, not just like if something breaks, like I've run into a lot of situations where like I'm on the official government website to apply for this visa. This government website is telling me to click on this link for the next step. And that link is broken.
Oh
The
my
link is
God,
broken.
yes.
And like, it's things like that. And I am tech savvy enough to know like, okay, if I hover over this link, I can see what the URL is and I can probably see what it's supposed to be and I can Google that and yada, yada, yada. But I get really upset for people who are just like, I don't know how to deal with this, so I guess I'll just go fuck myself. And it gets me really, really frustrated. And so
I was on a government website about 4 days ago where it said, for more information, click here. And the word here was in a different color font, but not hyperlinked to anything.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I know it's probably because they're like underfunded and understaffed, and that's a bigger, more systemic issue. But
Oh,
Yes.
good thing that'll
golly.
change soon and it'll all
Yeah.
get better.
Well, and
no.
also, especially, the UK loves its bureaucracy. It does. And they love, you need this form. I applied for the visa twice there, and we actually hired lawyers to fill out the form because it was my job on the line, and the job wouldn't do it for me because it's academics and they don't do that shit. And so we actually hired someone to do it because I was like, I can't fuck it up. I'm terrified of fucking it up. I'll pay the whatever, fee to just know that it's going to be done right.
Yes.
And it was worth it. Yeah.
Nice. But yeah, that's
Yes,
my
I
lemon.
feel that.
Boo.
Take that.
Yeah.
Boo.
My
Leighton.
my lemon is that this morning, I had done one of my really early wake up times and was trying to get a little more sleep so I could accomplish things today. And I would truly it feels rare for me where I've settled into comfy, cozy. I'm actually calm as I'm falling asleep and I'm not freaking out about a million things. But then what do I hear but a fly buzzing around?
Oh, bad.
I get so overly focused when a fly is in my place, it will ruin my entire day. The additional extra problem here is that not only was it around in that I could hear it sometimes, it was going back and forth, flying within inches of my face. It just kept
Just
swooping
buzzing.
back and forth. It's like, can you go somewhere else? If you're going to be here and not have me annihilate you, stop, because I would drift off. Bzz, drift off. Bzz. It was great.
Terrible.
And then I think I killed it, ? But I didn't see the body.
We got to find that body. Where are the bodies buried? I love occasionally, we'll get a fly in our home. And if we can't swat it, sometimes we'll go into the bathroom. And my favorite noise is you get in the bathroom with the fly and you close the bathroom door. And especially if it's during the day, you've got a window. The bathroom is one window and it's got a mirror. And hearing the fly slam into the mirror. So you're in this bathroom. It's like, bzzz, thump, bzzz, thump. Oh, sorry, audio listeners. It's so great watching this little idiot that I want to die, regularly slam its tiny body.
I'm not stuck in here with you. You're stuck in here
Yes,
with me.
exactly. That's
Only
exactly
one of
right.
us is leaving this room alive because
Yep.
I've got you right where I want you.
And
The
I'm
second
standing
best
there.
sound?
Yeah, I'm standing there with a fly swatter, just waiting.
Yeah, the second best sound is when you hear the buzzing and then you hear the buzzing go crazy. Like,
Yes.
what could possibly be happening to this fly? And you open your curtain and you see it in a spider's web. And it's buzzing incessantly because it's trying to free itself.
Yes,
and
that's
that
a really
spider's
good one.
coming.
That's so
That's-
satisfying.
The opposite of man versus biological. That is biological doing you a solid.
That's
Yeah.
exactly right. Yep. I love it when spiders catch some. It's the best.
Yeah, and then the desiccated little husk is there because you forget about
Yep.
it, and then you come back months later, and it's like, here's a completely bleached fly body.
Yeah, hell
Awesome.
Sick.
All right, now it's time for peaches, which are three things that are cool, fun, good, and nice. I will go first because I always do mine quick. First one, I've been really looking forward to seeing Miles, and I'm happy that we did this.
Aw.
I've been very excited about doing this one, so hooray!
Shucks.
My second peach is that maybe's out of prescription dog food, and I need to make an appointment before I can get a refill on the prescription dog food. So I've been cooking her homemade food. And she is so happy. She loves it so to get her little chopped up steamed veggies and her white rice. Brian, you've watched her with white rice.
That
And
bitch
either some-
annihilates rice.
Either some like chopped up hard boiled egg or cottage cheese. She loves it. I've never seen a dog get so excited over like bits of broccoli
And it's what's
plain white rice.
so funny about it is white rice. I think it's safe to say no one fucking loves white rice. Like, you like it with stuff, but you're not going to be like, hell yeah, rice. Watching this animal get like visibly excited over the blandest food imaginable is
She
amazing.
hears the bag come out of the cabinet and like the rice hitting the rice cooker and just like
Yep.
bolts across the apartment.
It's
And
incredible.
She's attuned to the like little when the timer kicks over to like warm rather than cook. Like, she knows when it's ready because she can hear that sound that I can't.
Nice.
So yeah, she loves it. It makes me glad my dog is eating better than I am right now, because I will cook an elaborate meal for her, but then I will eat garbage. Isn't that right? And on that note, my third peach is that I've got half of a meatball sub in my fridge right now.
Look at you.
Damn.
Now, the real strat is that if you have a leftover meatball sub, you cannot just microwave it. You remove the meatball, you microwave the meatball. Then you
Yeah.
put the bread, which
Crucial.
is otherwise
Crucial.
soggy and terrible, in the air fryer, and you crisp it up. So that's what's
Yep.
happening when we're done recording.
Booyah.
I love it.
Those are my peaches.
Great. Miles.
Who else has peaches?
Oh man, peach number one, character actors. I love character actors, man. Taking it back
Hell
to the
yeah.
Penguin. That thing's got two. It's got that guy that was in our Flagmane's Death who's like, he's got the voice that sounds like this.
Oh, yeah. Right.
He's the first mate to Blackbeard, and he's also like a commissioner or something in Gotham. Just the most wild voice I've ever heard. And then jump over to the lady, the Indian lady from The Expanse. She's also got like a really raspy voice for a woman. Incredible,
I think
beautiful
she's
voice.
I think she might be Iranian.
Maybe it's Iranian. I'm
it's like
deeply
Shora
ignorant.
Agadash. Wait, hold on. Look, am I right about this? Shora Agdashlu.
Maybe on The
If I got this right, I'm going to be very excited.
Cast.
Shora Agdashlu.
I'm looking on the internet.
Come on.
Why is she's so hidden?
Miles is doing the emotional labor
this.
of Googling this.
I want this
I don't
so
see
bad.
her.
No.
Why are they hiding her from us? Hold on. What happens if I
want
write
this
The
so
Expanse
bad. I want to be right about
cast
this so bad.
a woman
feel-
with
I
okay,
can feel
hold on,
how
here we
bad
go.
I want this.
Shore Agadashlu. Yeah. Okay, she is
Fucking thank you. Another point for the big old B. Hell
Iranian.
yeah.
Yes, she's Iranian. I misspoke. Thank you for
And
correcting me.
Look at that.
Beautiful
Congratulations, Brian named one woman.
I can get to almost 3.
I
Her
love
and you.
I love character actors. I also love it when they kind of like become like big deal character actors and kind of like break out.
Yes.
Like the dude,
like a J.K. Simmons.
Oh, yes. Love a character actor. That's my first peach. My second peach is when a story genre flips. I just love that. Like the movie Mandy starts off like kind of as a horror, and then halfway through it just becomes like revenge, violence, action, absurdity. I love it when a story does that. I won't say what it swap. I won't say what it switches to, but the book, This Is How You Lose the Time War, I would say
I've been curious about this. I've seen this in bookstores, yeah.
I really like it. It's a really like quick read. That no joke, the chapters are like 3 to 4 pages long. It makes you feel like the fastest, most accomplished reader to ever walk the face of the earth.
Cool.
But it's very fun. It's a really fun premise of two like spy agents, like two espionage agents on either side of a time war, leaving like troll messages for one another whenever they go back.
That's
and
funny.
like, I don't know, kill Genghis Khan before he was supposed to die or whatever. And it sure does switch to a different genre halfway through that I was not ready for at all, and I was so in. This is How You Lose Time War. Really fun, quick read book. So yeah, genre swaps like that.
You know, actually, while we're on the subject, you know what my favorite part about the Mandy movie was?
What?
That theme song by Barry Manilow. I thought it was so good.
Just gonna. My third peach.
See, Brian, finally someone who's not me is dismissing you.
That's the response I wanted. I don't know what you're talking about dismissing. That's a win for Daddy.
My third peach is veterinarians. I had to take our cat Cheeseball to the vet this morning as we're getting.
Oh,
she's
what
great.
a great animal name.
She's great. She's a big, fat, long hair orange cat, which is kind of rare. She's the devil, and I love her. She's pure evil, and I would kill for her. And I've always taken my dog to the vet. This is the first time taking our cat to the vet, and I didn't realize how different those two experiences are. Like with the dog, it's like, oh, I'm not super jazzed to be here, but I guess go ahead and give me my shots. No, peanut butter makes it better. Okay, bye. And with the cat, a great vet will be like, all right, and we're gonna open up her crate, and now we're gonna sit. We're just going to see how she does.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we spent like 10 minutes just kind of hanging out. There's like, wait, this is her first time here. We're going to let her get acclimated to the space.
Oh, because if you reach in, it'll be the worst thing in the world.
It'll be the worst thing in the world. Correct, Brian. And really, I just got to hang out with two vets who were just like, cats are the best. And we just talked about how much we liked cats. And that was just like, what a lovely experience. It was great. Shout out to vets. You keep our beautiful pets alive and healthy.
Hell
Great.
yeah. Those are all
love
really
it.
good and specific peaches. I
Thank
love
you.
to see it.
Yes.
Brian, go.
Okay. Peach number 1. I received today the first and only test pressing of. Wait, where the fuck is it?
Oh.
My new Holiday album. Now, I've had the sleeve for a while, but we actually got. So the way we do it is, you know, I get the sleeves, I sign them,
Let it
and then
blow.
the send them back, and then they put the records in them. But I got the test pressing the vinyl today. It sounds great, so it's full steam ahead, and they'll be ready to ship in like
Is it white?
a week. All tray Magnifique vinyl is pure white.
Oh, shit. That's so good.
amazing.
That's
the
so
rule.
good.
Yep. So it's cool to see. You know, it's a 10-inch. I've never done a 10-inch dick size. I've never had one. We've only done the full 12-inch my dick size albums before,
right.
and it's nice to do a 10-inch normal dick size record for once. So it's fun. It's like it's hard to tell scale here, but it's like, you know, whoops, small.
Wait, tip it the other way so you're like, looks like you're standing.
Oh, it does. Look at that. Yeah. I can go all sorts of directions here. Oh, Daddy's upside down.
upside down.
Oh, no. Oh, look at that.
I like it
It's
upside down.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, let me
powerful.
show you the back cover. I'm really happy with the back cover.
It's just his bare ass. Ooh.
You see that?
Oh,
It's
I
a
see it. I see it. I see
That's
it.
good.
saxophone with sunglasses by the fire.
It's
There it
really
is.
good, man. I'm going to have to give me
but
one of those.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So the test pressing for that came through today. Peach number 2, Audrey has off from school by the time you hear this past week, but right now, next week. So I'm taking her to Palm Springs for 3 days, just a little
Cool.
dad-daughter trip. Also found out Jim Roach is going to be out there at the same time, so maybe we'll get to see him and his folks, which is really fun. But I love Palm Springs. I love going to the desert in winter. It's the best time for the desert. And we're just going to go hang out and do fun stuff. They have a great zoo out there called the Living Desert, which is all desert animals from all over the world. It's so great. You know, they have like an Africa section and an Australia section. It's awesome. It's basically North America, Africa, and then a little bit of Australia. Cool. With all sorts of great desert animals. And my final peach, actually, Leighton, this is relevant to yours. Mine is also sandwich related. So I had been hearing... this is a bit of a shout out. There's a deli in Studio City called Uncle Paulie's Deli. Nice. East Coast sandwiches. Okay? You're pointing at me like you know this.
Yeah, because I fucking love Uncle Paulie's.
Okay, so I had heard not the greatest thing about it because my wife went and didn't really like it. Now, I am an East Coaster. I'm from New Jersey. I am very picky when it comes to especially Italian sandwiches, right? I grew up with the best Italian sandwiches, you know, the hoagies with all the shit. I love a good New Jersey Italian sub. I was like, Rachel said Uncle Paulie's isn't good. I'm not going to go. I heard Sharpling talk about it on the Best Show, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to fucking try it. Why not? Now, it's pretty expensive. It was like, for a thick sandwich, it was like $19, which is way too much.
It's bullshit.
It's ridiculously overpriced, but I was like, you know what? I want to try it once. It was really good. I thought it was so good.
Which sandwich did you get?
I got the Paulie, the number one, whatever the first one is, with a bunch of, you know, it's Italian cold cuts. It's got your sopressata. It's got your
they're doing the work in there. They're doing the work in Paulie.
Exactly.
The bread's really good.
The bread, it was like some kind of semolina type bread. The bread was really great. It was that kind of red wine, like vinegar on the sandwich where it's like a little too much and it's kind of soggy and it's just like the bread starts dripping off a little bit.
But it's like a hard enough bread to withstand that.
That's right.
Uncle Paulie's is where I get the fig jam prosciutto sandwich that I love so much. That's the Mary Lou.
Yeah, gotcha. I will definitely go back. I'm not going to go regularly because it's too expensive.
So fucking expensive. But
I have yet to find, until this, a thing that I would be like, oh yeah, I would eat that sandwich at home, like in Jersey. This was it. So I was pleasant. I was preparing to be disappointed, right? Which is probably a good place to be. Their hot sandwiches
are really good too.
They had one that looked really good with like chicken cutlet and pesto or something. Mm-hmm. I love a simple prosciutto, fresh mozzarella, tomato sandwich. That's
beautiful.
A little arugula too, balsamic, olive oil, salt, pepper. That's a great sandwich.
Next time you go, get a Mary Lou.
Okay.
I just want to share the gospel of that because it's my favorite sandwich.
Cool.
Great.
And those are my peaches. Yeah.
Beautiful peaches, everybody. A bountiful harvest.
Although, well, and it's
the
not
spirit
even
of the
peach
season.
Yeah, that's right. It's always peach season on Late Night with Brian Wecht, isn't it?
Especially when we have guests like Miles Luna.
Oh,
thank
you.
Yes.
Thanks again for having me, guys. I love it. I look forward to this every year.
Me too.
Such a treat.
It is so fun. It's just great to see you and catch up. But it's so fun. Sometimes you go into these recordings and you're like, can I be myself around whoever this guest is going to be? And it is so fun just to immediately show up and be off to the fucking races and know that we're going to get along great and we can just say whatever stupid shit comes top of mind and it's going to be awesome. So thank you for, being this is a regular part of our lives. You are a regular part of our lives. And I am just so grateful and, if you will, thankful for you being here every year.
Whoa.
He did it. He said it.
It's called professional broadcasting. Fucking get used to it.
Miles, do you have anything that you want to plug or places you want to point people?
I'm also on Blue Sky. I think I'm just Miles Luna on Blue Sky. I'm slowly moving over to that
Am I following
space.
you? I'm going to do it right now.
I don't know, maybe. That's it. I work in an industry filled with NDAs now, and so I don't really have anything to plug.
I am following you.
Hell yeah. If I had to say anything to everybody, is just be nice to yourself and be nice to the people around you, man. It's sometimes you forget to do that shit. Do it. It makes a big difference.
You reposted the album. Oh, you reposted my post.
Man, I'm stoked.
This guy. Wow.
He's so touched. I love it. Yeah, no, Miles, I agree with that sentiment. That's a very good sentiment to broadcast at this moment, and better than anything I would have come up with.
I agree. Well, listen, dude, have a great move. Good luck with everything. I hope you guys get over there safely and have fun living there. I'm sure we'll be in touch, and hopefully we'll see you over there. We're talking about maybe a tour not next year, but in 2026.
Ooh.
That would be sick.
Maybe we'll be over there. The first time we mentioned this before the show, and we've probably mentioned it before. The first time we ever met in person, was in London.
Yeah.
When I was living there, and Miles was over for Comic-Con with Carrie.
Yeah, Carrie Shawcross. Bless him.
Yep. And it'd be great to see you over there again.
Love it, man. Well, thanks for having me, and have a happy Thanksgiving or whatever. Just have a good day. Whatever day you're listening to this podcast, have a good day.
I love it. All right. Bye, everybody.
What he said. Goodbye.
Late Night is produced by Brian Wecht and Leighton Gray. Sign up for our Patreon at patreon.com/LeightonNight. Follow us on Twitter at LeightonNight, on Instagram at Leighton_night, or email us at LeightonNight@gmail.com.